So, we shall continue discussion which we started in last lecture regarding looking towards the circuit from two ports simultaneously. We have a circuit which may be very large, very complex. That is right now not our botheration. Somehow we choose 4 points. We choose 4 points and try to give a look at it. So we are looking it in a different way, and since there are 4 points, I am not looking at 4 points, but I am looking at 2 ports where one port comprises 1 point. So 1 1 dash, 2 2 dash. So V1 I1, V2 I2, and then I represent it in a equation form where any two of these 4 I express as linear combination of remaining 2. I am not supposed to know what is there inside. I have 4 points, port 1 1 dash, 2 2 dash. The direction of currents are shown. This is I1, this is I2, this is V1 like this is V2 like this. Where I1, I2 are currents, we will look at voltage at the ports. Then, since we have 4 values, 4 variables, what we can do, it's very obvious that any two of them can be expressed as linear combination of remaining 2. Any two can be expressed as linear combination of remaining 2, and that will be given by matrix. So V1 I1 some matrix V2 I2, or V1 V2 some matrix I1 I2. In whatever way we like, we express it. So we get 2 equations. Each equation contains 2 terms and it contains 2 parameters. So there are 4 parameters. So a 2-port network is completely described by a set of 4 parameters. The way in which we are describing it changes the parameters themselves. The way in which I am expressing it changes the parameters themselves. So these 4 are not unique parameters. Because these parameters are nothing but the multipliers in the linear combination equations, and since I have 4, there is nothing like dependent and independent here. There are total 4. You can connect something here, get something at this port. You can connect something here, get something there. You can connect something at both and see the effect on the remaining. You can connect one voltage source here. You can connect another voltage source here. See what the currents are. You can connect one current source here, one current source here. See what the voltages are. Only one current source at one end. See what the voltage, what that voltage is, what this is. Only one voltage source at one end. See what the current is, what the voltage at the end. So we have option either to connect. So what we have? 2 ports. That's all. We have 2 ports. What option we have? Connect voltage source to one port, or connect current source to that port. Connect voltage source to other port. Connect current source to other port. Don't connect anything. Connect any resistor across them. One of them is shorting, means connecting 0 resistance. Not connecting means putting infinite resistance. So we can try to analyze the circuit by connecting something at one end, observing the impact at the other, connecting something at both ends, observing the impact on the currents, or observing the impact on the voltages. So just this provides me just like what we can say a bag in which I am having 4 studs, 2 pairs. I am putting here, and I am trying to analyze what that punching bag is through these 4 points. I am not knowing what is inside. I need not know. Say for example, you meet a friend. Do you ask his, what we can say is, all kind of reports of his blood chemical composition, and because how he will be,
what is called as psychoanalysis reports, his EEG, thyroid level, right? So that is not needed. What you do, you simply from where you hail from, you are from which place. Then based on the based on the tone in which he answers, you get something, right? So you need not know, just like that in the whole punching bag, I'm just putting two pairs, and so just these are four terminals I'm putting inside. Wherever randomly they may get placed, and then so I can see. So what is this network? I did not know. But what I should know, do you suppose that there may be a completely hopeless person? But if he is good with you, why you need to bother how he is? So there is no need for you to know somebody completely. When the question of knowing ourselves completely cannot be answered, question of knowing somebody else completely is very difficult to answer. So I did not know the complete network, but I should know the network from the angle which I am observing it. How the moon is. You are not, nobody has seen the other side of the moon. So the moon which I see is like this. So this is the network which I am looking at only through these two. Thevenin looks from only 2 points, and two-point network analysis looks from 2 poles. So as regards to relationship in these 2 poles, so the whatever complex network it may be, as regards to its behavior with respect to these 2 ports, it can be fully described by a set of 4 parameters. And the way in which we can describe 4 parameters depends upon, there are 4 variables. Any 2 can be expressed as linear combination of other 2, and so what you are requiring, based on that, a set of 4 parameters will completely describe, just like the circuit can be explained using Thevenin's voltage and Thevenin's resistance, or Norton's current and Norton's resistance. Same circuit I can look as Thevenin's voltage and Thevenin's resistance in series, or Norton's current and Norton's resistance in parallel. Similarly, I can look at it in different ways, and then our role is just to find out those parameters. So what is the gain? I need not analyze the entire circuit, but I can have some small measurements and I can fully know what the circuit is. I fully know what the circuit is. Right? So some examples we have taken. We will take one more example. Let us see how many of you can solve it. 1 1 dash, 2 2 dash, 1 5 10. Find out all parameters, Z parameters, Y parameters, H parameters, ABCD parameters. So all you have written down for Y, for H, you might have written down. Okay, fine. At least find out Z parameters. So what we shall do is Z parameter is simple to remember, so we can find that for some complex systems, and the same you can repeat for other parameters, no problem at all. So find out Z parameters for the given circuit. You can give pause. Latecomers, numbers 40. One more 20. How will you calculate? I20 means chip is open circuit. Can I 1 volt here? Connect 1 volt. What change have you made? The symbol. What should be symbol? A diamond. 2 amperes. That doesn't mean that no, because it's sorry. Now, so some answer has come, and in that answer the Z parameters have come negative. Z parameters have come negative, and immediately we find that things are somewhat problematic. These are the issues connected due to preconceived notions. Based on this, I am having a very interesting example. So I will explain the example. Maybe few of you will get the link, few of you may not get the link. Then I will describe, and then I hope everybody gets the link. When ragging is prohibited because of what we can say its ill effects. But there were some arguers in favor of ragging, and they were putting forward some views. So the theme of ragging needs to be discussed. Ragging is prohibited by law. That does not prohibit the discussion on themes or the mindsets which have given rise to this particular, what we can say, tradition. It's universal. It is an attempt to give a mental shock. So, with that as a background, there is one college, and in that college, especially it's a medical college, we can say. In that medical college, and it is done officially, when the students join the college, they come to there's a welcome speech by the dean of the college. And after the welcome speech, then the dean asks the students to go to different divisions of small groups, practical batches we can say. And then in such 20 rooms are there, maybe 500 students, so 25 or somewhere 10 to 15 of the order of students are there. And what they have done, a crow is there, a black crow. And the black crow is put up on the table. And it's in India. So a black crow is put up on the table. And there is a cage so that he should not fly. There is a cage. But the cage size is such that its openings are such that the crow can't fly, but your hand can go inside. Crow can't fly out, but your hand can go inside. And then every student is asked to just put his hand inside the cage and just move it on the feeders of the crew. Its impact, see, even though it is said that the contents can be completely conveyed irrespective of the medium of instruction, but there are some incidences where language matters. So this is a particular situation where we need to switch to our native language, mother tongue. तर मग ते असं जाळीचा पिंजरा आहे तिथे आणि काय करायचं, प्रत्येकानं त्या जाळीमध्ये हात घालायचा आणि त्या कावळ्याच्या पंखावर असा हात ठेवायचा. मग वर्गामध्ये असे काही तुमच्यासारखे विद्यार्थी आहेत, नाही सर ते कावळा तोच मारेल, मग प्रत्येक कोणी जात नाही त्या करायला. काय जात नाही बाबा, नाही ते कावळा तोच मारेल. मग मी काय केलं असतं, तुळशीला असं एक हे आणलंय, पूच आणलंय, त्याचे कावळ्याचे पाय असे विचित्र हे असतात, मग ते नख देऊन मला हे करेल, कोरबाडेल. त्या नखाला सुद्धा हे आणलंय असं मनमली असं त्याला मोजे मनमली मोजेत लागते. सुचीला बूज घातलेला आहे आणि पायांना मोजे घातले आणि आता आणि तो असा डोम कावळा आहे आणि फक्त आपण काय करायचं, प्रत्येकानं डोम कावळ्याच्या पंखावर असा असं मायनं हात प्रत्येकानं जायचं, असं पाठवून मायनं हात ठेवायचा. एक ती कृती एक साधारणतः एक 10-15 सेकंद करायची. So now, what is the moral of the story? Story is over. So in a medical college, this experiment is to be done, and somehow it must be done. That's all. So now, what is the more theme of the story? समजा घरी विचारलं, अरे वर्गात आज काय शिकवलं? कावळ्याच्या पाठीवरून हात ठेवायची गोष्ट आहे. तर तो कावळा घेणे, त्यात तो डोम कावळा. डोम कावळा मात्र काय असते, तो अतिशय असा कावळा चांगला दिसत नाही, म्हणजे एखाद्याची अत्युच्च पातळीवरची सौंदर्य दृष्टी असलेलाच कावळा सुंदर आहे म्हणू शकतो. पण त्याला सुद्धा म्हणजे एखादी समजा नुसता कावळ्याची मान राखाडी असते, एखादा अत्युच्च सौंदर्य दृष्टी असलेला मनुष्य त्या साध्या कावळ्याला अरे हा देखील सुंदर दिसतो म्हणू शकतो. डोम कावळा इतका किळसवाणा आहे की अत्युच्च सौंदर्य दृष्टी असलेला मनुष्य सुद्धा तो चांगला म्हणे धाडस करणार नाही. तर मग त्या कावळ्याच्या पंखावरून हात ठेवून त्याच्यामध्ये प्रतीक हे काय, म्हणजे व्हॉट इट इंडिकेट्स. सो नाव इट्स open point for discussion. What is the interpretation of this experiment which is being conducted in a medical college? त्याचं काय आहे? कावळ्याच्या पाठीवरून हात ठेवता येणे ह्या, so it's an action, so it's an experiment. So what I have described now, see, it's a learning, it's a good team learning, so you can make teams, and I'm not joking, with all seriousness, you are alone here, you come join here. So make teams of two each, because the number of students are 62. Then what we have described, tier 1 page need not be central, only small will do. So what I have done, it's an experiment. Title of the experiment, which you can write. I am instructing with all seriousness. So one page you can remove. Write down title of the experiment. Then apparatus. I'm not joking. One page per desk. With all seriousness I am talking. Title of the experiment. Apparatus. Then aim of the experiment. So I have described title. I have described apparatus. Aim I have not described. Procedure I have described. So you write down. If you want to use mother tongue, you can write in Marathi also. With all silence please. Teamwork should start when I instruct the stage. With all seriousness I am asking to do this. Title of the experiment is described, apparatus is described, aim of the experiment not described, procedure described, you can write down in small 2-4 lines, and then conclusion. Right? Title, apparatus, procedure is described by me to you, that you can write. And then you have to think in team and conclude what is the aim of the experiment and conclusion. Therefore, I think that since no measurements are to be taken, so since no measurements are to be taken, there is only observation tape. A diagram you can draw.
डायग्राम काढ दो काढले ना डायग्राम काढली एक
So now you form teams of 2 each or 3 each in some cases and discuss among yourselves. Write down in Marathi also. Discuss among yourselves about the aim of the experiment and conclusion. Pause.
Stop.
Pause.
Hey, don't